Welcome everyone to Aircraft Carrier aka CV-101 in World of Warships Blitz. My name is Starbuck and let's get this show on the road.
Here is your Tier 8 Japanese carrier Shokaku. This ship is my moneymaker. Day in, day out, I play this carrier to make sure my silver and free XP coffers are nice and full. This guide will show you how to do so and how to prepare your Japanese CV skills for Tier 9 and 10. Shokaku is probably the most powerful CV at Tier 8 right now, more so than the Enterprise and definitely more so than the Lexington. The combination of OK fighters, alright dive bombers and super duper powerful torpedo bombers will push your enjoyment of CB battles to the max. The Shokaku will push your micromanagement to the limit. You really need to manage targets, fighters and damage over time to become the most valuable player and in most of your games. I will hopefully provide you with the tools necessary to achieve this. At Tier 8, your planes will now have to challenge the big boys and girls of anti-aircraft, with ships like the US light cruisers, French battleships, US battleships, and others specialised in countering your planes. A wrong target at the wrong time can cause dire consequences for you and your team. But no stress. Let me first of all emphasise that your priority targets are destroyers, destroyers, and more destroyers. Sink these little guys as soon as you can and as fast as you can. The sooner they go, the more your team can play carefree and the less reliant on you they become. After the destroyers are eliminated, focus down ships that are still a threat to your team. These are those that are forcing a brawl between a friendly and an enemy, and those that are pushing a capture point, or those that you feel you can get a quick kill upon. You must always keep the pressure on enemy planes with your fighters when playing the Shokaku. This can be done with the usual baiting tactics and cover techniques explained in previous videos. Warning to all, the Shokaku is quite a step up from Tier 7 in terms of skills to unlock her maximum potential. I would advise to take some time in AI battles to get used to torpedo bombers' speeds and arcs, and then take time to play with teams before launching out by yourself. This can be really a fun ship and eventually quite easy to use. Let me help then by providing you the details on her equipment. For the Elite bonus, we must select Elite Torpedo Squadron as the most effective boost to your CV. Remember, Japanese carriers specialise in torpedo bombers, so even though you want to boost the damage from the dive bombers, it's better just to boost the most effective element of your carrier even more so. For the equipment, in the first slot I have purchased Carrier Hangar Modification 3. This is because in the current meta, there is so much powerful anti-aircraft that I found myself running out of planes in games that lasted or required a bit more time and patience before getting that first strike. This increase in plane numbers allows a little more room for suicide runs into enemy ships that are running away or clustered together in a specific area. You may however wish to select the preparation time reduction. Yet from my experience and feeling, this preparation time reduction on the Shokaku is already very good. But there is something to be said about launching planes quickly back into action to help your team out. If you do select this option, watch out for anti-aircraft a lot more than you would usually. The last option for the first slot is to take a more defensive option, especially if you prefer bringing enemy planes down fast with the fighter modification 1. It's for sure that Shokaku fighters can seem weak, yet I believe with the correct baiting strategies and timing, your friendly's AA can help where your fighters lack. These options are really up for you to decide. What I must say is that from this tier to tier 10, the next slots are what I like to think of bonus equipments, where they are not essential to your gameplay. They're more based on your preferences, on how you play the game and what you think is more important than another. I will present from my experience the best choices in the second and third slot. So to start off in the second slot, I have chosen Air Defense Modification 2, but you may also wish to choose Propulsion Modification. And lastly, in the third slot, I myself have purchased Air Defense Modification 1, but you may wish also to go for Torpedo Defense Modification 1 or Steering Gear Modification 1. It's really up to you. With that long intro out of the way, let's check Shokaku in action. So we have here a Tier 9, Tier 8 battle. 4 destroyers, absolutely horrible game for me, but I'm nonetheless going to be able to show you the effectiveness of the Shokaku against destroyers. So this is the cage map, but in domination. And let's get this battle underway. So, as per usual, fighters out first. Let's try and bait the enemy as fast as possible. Dive bombers following through after, and then torpedo bombers behind. We really need to scout the enemy as soon as possible to really... They're smoking up. So have we been able to bait these enemy fighters? I've unfortunately slightly overturned with my carrier. What I've done here is, because I was trying to manage the carrier group, I've returned them. So don't hesitate. Take a little bit more time, okay? Especially when you're dealing to try and get these destroyers, sorry, out of the way as soon as possible. Just take your time. So module damaged. This Akizuki is doing quite well at taking his time. I'm looking after these fighters, and now I can help my friendlies by sending out my fighters to intercept the enemy bombers. I hate these kind of excessive numbers of destroyers. It's not fun. It's stressful, but no, I think this is a pretty good game in the end when I think about it. So maintaining the pressure. You see, I'm making sure that my fighters are doing their job, protecting and covering my friends. I'm selecting the closest targets because, well, the closer they are, the faster I can do that turnover. Unfortunately, completely missing the Hizyang. Hopefully my torpedoes can follow through. See, what I've done here is I've nonetheless managed to screen capture point C and capture point B from 2 destroyers because of my torpedo bombers. So I attempted to box hit there, which is a strategy I might go over in an individual video. Unfortunately, it didn't go too well, so I'm repositioning using that return home button on the bottom right of the screen to really make sure that I maximize the number of hits on those from my torpedoes. I've also just, as I don't know if you've noticed there, but I had just about managed to get myself untrapped from the enemy fighters, sending them over my carrier, and unfortunately that Kajera gets the first strike against our friendly Friedrich de Grosse. Pressure's on. Really got to try and bring down these destroyers. As much as they're not applying a lot of pressure to us, the clock is ticking, and we have to be careful. Destroyers, maybe within a couple of seconds, can eliminate quite a few of your team members. So the faster they're out, the better it is. Our friendly Fletcher has decided that that CV is a bit too juicy. So there we go. Fletcher's down. Let's try and get this Hizyang to protect my battleship. Oh, this was he just turned in. We got lucky there by the looks of it. So close to dying. I thought I'd miss those because of the position he had taken. So more of our friendlies falling. Capture point B is still under control, which is good. Those points are ticking over now. Hopefully this Hizyang can die. The Fletcher kills the Shokaku, and that destroyer is ours for the taking. We can now focus on the rest of the team. I can gently advance forward, reversing now to cover myself from the island. And now it's time to maybe hit that rune as he's about to get torpedoed, which means we can just pretty much finish him off ourselves if we have to. They're more or less compiled together. Without the enemy Shokaku now putting pressure on our team, I must admit that the stress levels are considerably lower, and the fight will kind of become a bit easier. They're only down to 3 ship to our 5. They are capturing, or we're trying to capture B, but it seems that we have a friendly destroyer that's on point as well. I'm maintaining now pressure by kind of more or less targeting all the ships at the same time. The battleship, in the end, believe it or not, in this situation is the least threatening. The Friedrich de Grosse suffers quite a bit. I mean, he is in the ideal battle against T8 ships, but I just find them grossly underwhelming, but that's my opinion. Need to make sure that these destroyers are killed. This is going to be a great torp run. Look at that cone. That should be it for him. Perfect. And now 2 more ships left. The Rune, which I can target. He's trying to hide behind that island. Torpedo bombers up against the Friedrich de Gosse. This should be a nice little torp run. Finished him off. It's a bit naughty. Maybe should have gone for the Rune instead. So he's now turning around. About to eat some shots. Do I get the kill with my torpedo bombers? Yes. Oh, it's actually with my guns. Fantastic. And there we are. Starbuck right at the end, doing a bit of dirty work, but getting the MVP nonetheless. So in this first results screen, we can do a quick comparison. Unfortunately, there are a lot of destroyers in this battle, so the damage elements aren't too high, and the enemy CV was killed pretty quickly, which means the number of planes to be shot down was limited. However, due to my teammates, yes, some would maybe found themselves in some bad spots at some bad times, few positioning errors, 3 questionable choices. I'm looking at you, Mr. Fletcher. And well done to the enemy team. They were a little bit more unfortunate, less positioning, but in the end, I think what did it for me was not necessarily my damage here, but the precision strike against those destroyers, taking them out of the game as fast as possible and as soon as I could. In this second screen, what we're going to look at is my private results, if you want. So only 9 bombs hit, 19 torpedoes hit, 2 hits with the guns, 4 kills, 10 aircraft destroyed, 2 modules destroyed, and a single fire. Fortunately, no floods, it would seem, in this battle. So as I mentioned in the previous results screen, fortunately the enemy CV died pretty quickly, but as you can see, that would probably be being a game had the CV lasted longer with the Clear Sky medal and whatnot. But the important thing here is to look at, you see we had a destroyer focused battle here, and with the aircraft carrier, you are naturally going to hit far more destroyers with the torpedo bombs. It's crucial that you understand how to aim correctly, how to do so quickly, because these destroyers are fast at tier 8, especially with the Shokaku. And then combining your 2 torpedo bombers with bombs, those targets should relatively be sunk quite quickly. So it's up to you to make of it. I hope you've learned something from this, and I look forward to presenting to you then the action-packed situation of tier 9.
That's it for today's CVs class. I hope with this information you have learned a few new tips and tricks and are ready to join battle with me or against me in World of Warships Blitz. Until next time, this is Starbuck.